for Minuka say today being the 1st of January 2025, the battle for these seats are the EC Re-collation. Most of them could the New Patriotic Party I found. Minuka said that game has begun. Obeka said just yesterday, the 31st of December 2024, what we just saw was that a High Court High Court said they are basically postponing and as they are adjourning the ruling of NDC. Some of the Aberdeen court say EC Re-collation valid or not. So they adjourned the case today being the 1st of January 2025. This was after NDC for the Supreme Court or more to Supreme Court and him say the same court down a High Court and him say High Court is now a Re-collation and per EC the laws CI 127 it doesn't allow it to do any Re-collation after the results have been declared. But then High Court was like, you guys have no legal objection, and I said your validity of the case and Tasumu into Monko EC should go and do whatever he or she wants. And no NDC for the court dying and the Supreme Court and Supreme Court say yes, NDC for argument it is valid because in the case in NDC submission in some of the court it makes sense and the High Court should have heard them. So that the Supreme Court sided with the National Democratic Congress to take the case back to the High Court for them, compelling them to hear. And in Dromko PMO Court, the High Court postponed it or adjourned the case to today being the 1st of January 2025. And then Menoka say High Court edit ruling be abba. So as you can see on the screen, I say this coming from Graphic Online just for reference sake. I say NDC preliminary objection to Mandamus application overruled. Siena, or say the High Court in Accra has overruled the National Democratic Congress, the NDC preliminary legal objection to the Mandamus application seeking to compel the EC to collate parliamentary results of 4 constituencies in the December 7th election. So basically, so team Mandamus. In fact, you can Mandamus. I idea simple. Basically, a legal request. Which is being legal request asking a court, to compel a public official or an entity or a body to perform a duty that they are legally obligated to do. Basically, in layman terms, EC after December 7th elections, they announced NDC for we need these particular seats are in contention. Talking about the seats the 7 seats are but then at the end of the day, what we did saw was that even though those results went for the National Democratic Congress, we are learning our officers were forced to declare it in favor of the National Democratic Congress. So we've annulled those results. Basically, your councils are results. So Yanka say Re-collation my own results. And that was how come after the EC's Re-collation, most of these results went in favor of the New Patriotic Party. And then the National Democratic Congress was like no, they be your CI 127 or HSA. You can't do any Re-collation after you've announced the results. That is where the Mandamus application comes in. So basically, the National Democratic Congress is saying, EC, we are seeking you per law, to stick to your December 7th results. And I your December 7th results. Don't do anything beyond that scope. So that is the Mandamus application that they are forcing to be enforced. And no any court sitting in a court say we are overruling that Mandamus application. You are forcing on the EC or you are forcing on the EC or compelling the EC to do. And that is where the case as a take a different. Now if it should go this way, the New Patriotic Party might perhaps gain back most of the seats in contention. But then this is the legal twist there are many questions in place currently. A lengthy staff court reports from the courts. But before then, one other issue you have to screen also. These are the 3 things which are going to determine if the National Democratic Congress will be able to hold on to these Re-collated seats and that these seats are in contention, or these seats will actually go in favor of the New Patriotic Party. The 3 things we need to look at here: the Mandamus application and medical chemo, any the EC law CI 127. Now the CI 127 a law EC way back in 2020 say Re-collation after the results have been declared. So after the results, no Re-collation, nothing else. Any party we need, including as the EC, we go to court. we go to court. And the case of Re-collation too is there. So basically now the EC they are like saying, okay, yeah, the law nearby, but pay a law there is an exception to S because our officers were forced to declare the results for the National Democratic Congress after the boys and the National Democratic Congress almost supporters almost storming these collation centers. Almost force agents and a polling agent say a polling officers they should declare it in favor of their candidate. So based on this, let's just say we want to do a recollation. And our NDC forecast your CI 127 says that once you've declared the results, you've declared it. And yeah, your force boys snapper and our supporters about Abe Force. We even don't know anything about that. So that is where the whole case is coming in. Now I told you so there's a lengthy court report here, but before then, there are some legal objections. Someone who is watching, perhaps this for the first time, be asking, say, now, what is the way forward and now what is the possible outcome? These are the possible outcomes. There are two screeners. So number one, the possible outcomes of this case is that the court may side with the National Democratic Congress. If that happens, the court could declare, say, the recollation results, the recollation results are ECI after December 7th, invalid, which means results the new patriotic party for the court to say, stick back to your December 7th election results, which means the NDC will gain back those seats. What I say, they will be reinstated as the original winners. That's the NDC candidates. Again, this will reinforce the binding nature of the CI 127, limiting the EC's power to overturn declared results because on results CI 127. The CI 127 says after you've declared the results, no recollation. The other case is that the court may side with the EC. If the court sides with the EC, then it means the recollation results now EC 4 years it will be justified. And at the end of the day, if it's justified, which means to go in favor of the new patriotic party, which is after the recollated results now, the new patriotic party members, they are declared winner, it will stand. Because this will come under extraordinary circumstances. Because at the end of the day, you see, the EC side they said their candidates and also their polling agents and polling officers were forced to declare the results for the National Democratic Congress, which in law, you have any duress. This also could mean, if the court sides with the EC, now another outcome will be, this will uphold the MPP's victory. Okay, the MPP's victory. So okay, you guys we've declared you winner, but at the end of the day, the other thing will be it will weaken the CI 127 because in future, the NDC can say, okay, after recollation now, results maybe we'll go in favor of the new patriotic party. We can also go and challenge it in court and say that CI 127 it is not binding or it's not standard. Yeah, citing a case in 2024. So these are some of the legal objections. But if the court should side with the EC, if the court should side with the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, then the December 7th results stands. But if they should side with the EC, then it means that MPP recollated seats no maybe it will stand. So that's exactly what is going on. I ain't see what really went down in court because in some way it is not really looking good for the National Democratic Congress. Remember, we are just 6 days away from swearing in. And things are not really looking good for the National Democratic Congress as it is now. But you could see the court report, you better also.
Any Accra High Court, one more etu, a be a better one epono esono asheda. Now, one to share that and one etu edekoshe ye. NDC, one more legal objection, Edema NPP Amanyo Koshomo, Mandamus application, F4 constituencies a hodro and 9 na e was sempeni for share etu edisheda. Constituency CA Okaikwe Central, Tema Central, Techimai South, and Afe Ablekuma North. In fact, Sadi Assembly Ekokoye Honomono, na aye pinso, papa, pinche, Nama Bebre Honman, Shada and Kosu A. Timpeni for and said, Abby, 1 month yes, and Tomete Brim Eddie Cocopium a year High Court. Now, one to me, Ashe Atwaso Eddie a free honomo. Now, Sadia Assembly everybody by Nam so cram and penny for years, Sadia Electoral Commission, Sansom Hoquine, say a mobile sanso aqua Re-collation biome. Now, for you to me, a year, Papa, and your demon kunimno, yet to me, Eddie a free honomo. Say a court no so Ashe, I to Eddie Ashedanum, and Deputy Director of Elections and IT, Edema National Democratic Congress, NDC Amanyuko, Dr. Rashid Tanko, Computer. computer wɔkyerɛ sɛ court to a wetu ɛde ahyɛ da ne de ɔno so ɛwɔ bibi ka ɛde fa we san sɛ wɔn ne sɛ nya ade bi ɔmpɛ sɛ wɔn ɛhwɛ na ebia mmara papa bi ɛda hɔ a wɔsɛ mpanifo ɛhwɛ ebusuo no ɛdi soɔ no wɔn ɛma wɔn emu so kora esan sɛ legal procedures bi wɔ hɔ nom a wotumi nka sɛ wubu wani ɛde egu so etwam akwakoɛ deɛ wopɛ ɛno nti wɔso wɔn electoral commission deɛ ɛne ne mpanifo no wɔn ntumi ɛmfiti prɛko pɛ ɛnyɛ biribi a wɔn ɛpɛ na mmom na mmara no ɛwɔ hɔ no ɛna wɔso wɔn edi so a wontumi ɛndane dane bibia ɛni yɛntie nsɛm ahodoɔ bi a Dr. Rashid Tanko ɛde tudwa ebi.
We thought that it's a wrong method they've used. They are using ambush tactics, backdoor window, to force the arms of the state institution, EC, to do their bidding. That is the trick they are trying to do. The people have voted, the returning officers have done their work. The law, the EC, has given those powers per the CI 1272 returning officers to declare, collate and declare parliamentary resource. So that power rests with the returning officers. Okay, it doesn't rest with the commissioners, Madam Jean Mensah and the other commissioners. They don't have those powers. It is the returning officers. So when they finish their work and declare somebody winner and you are not satisfied, pay PNDC law 284, okay, subsection 16 and 20, you come to High Court and file a petition against those declarations with enough evidence so that the court can set it aside the declarations or ask for this. Your media houses carry the declarations. Your media houses, they carry those declarations live. It was done live. It wasn't done under somebody's bedroom. It was done at the collation centers. Live cameras, policemen standing there, and they held the hands of the various candidates having been properly elected and declared. You get my question? That is what they have done. They have done their work. So that mandamus they are asking for, that work was done. Not that it was done, and they were declared officially at the collation centers. So if you are not satisfied, you know the path to go. You don't come by mandamus and saying that they should go back and do something they have done already.
Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer, one Deputy Director of Elections and IT, Edema NDC Amanyokuno. Na Nkasaye Echi and Director of Elections, Edema NPP Amanyoko, Dr. Evans Nimako. One of you say one yaman Kosa, one also Bibia, Obeka Ediafa.
I think today the High Court was built to take the Mandamus application file with respect to Tema Central, Ablekuma North, Okankwe Central and Techiman South. The NDC raised preliminary objection to the application, indicating that it must rather be an election petition, and therefore this court is not the forum by which the case can be heard. I mean, we disagree as New Patriotic Party because we think that for election petition to commence, there must be conclusion to an election, in which case you then go to challenge by petitioning the results. The EC has in itself indicated that in these constituencies, their return officers were not allowed to conclude the process. So we are in the hands of the court. We will come back tomorrow to hear what the court will tell us based on the objection that has been raised by the NDC. We know that.
Dr. Evans Nimako, NPP Director of Elections, and Yetini Kane. Na ewo court sensem ya emo, and majority leader was also Mrashebe Jeni, the Madisha Womo ewo efutu about 1 person so, when we for Alexander Afenyo Markin, one also HRS, one of the Warishamuka see papa, ewo legal processes, koso ewo a year about 1 semia abobody batitu, ewo NPP Amanyo Kono, one more parliamentary candidates no entem. Na one also the Sansemi Etu Central for any more High Court work crying. One of Eshe Etu Assemno Eddie Eshe Danom, and I watch that say, and who say I was sending Quanso, and she say, Papa, Ecoso, Esanse won't mean Casa to a Bentino, will be faculty Quan so now what the Ayadia will pay. About 1 day, Ayana Dani Daninano, ye here say, and we remove Ebecoso, now my peri your enso to me aye ejuma, and until watch this only here pass, I was say, ye to me enya and mano do papa, and I say, Bia, say young Concosisi will be no, was see one of the Hunisessa, and there was a Conwantino, says I approach a NPP Amanyoko one Afanua, was Sansu Chemu said the NDC Amanyoko Eka sign, and NPP Amanyoko, no one de basabasa ye bia wonum eti agine mu no wo se enye no kre in fact NPP amanyoko no de bibi boni bia ni hono mu a wonum eta kire sanse sabra ye kasei no mo hwe ani mu an se aye Supreme Court na se court betena se na wonum ama abato na yeto ye periperi yo aye adwumen konkoba na sisi ebe sisi obi so obi tena ba bi kase NPP amanyoko no eta basabasa ye koso e wo man echi a wonimunya for Alexander Fenyo Kense no kre bia eni.
That can only be triggered when there's an official declaration. The body in charge of the elections says that the elections have not been concluded. They are saying that their officers were threatened, were cajoled to do an illegal act, and the law allows them. The CI allows them to ensure that the right things are done, and that is what they've done. There is no official declaration. It is the Electoral Commission that does declaration of results. It is saying that it has not concluded. What it has concluded is a final collation. We declared all our candidates whose matter is in dispute the rightful elected candidates. So that's it. Don't worry.
There's a lingering question finally. There's a lingering. Come back again.
To Onimonya for Alexander Fenyo Ken ena yetini ke intine was said your no so ebeka ede afa ho no eno a ebi eno hu ni se nema bi wo no mo a wo se wo no etumi ede tutu na kwan mu eyie se de beyen konkofo basabasa ye ebia emma wo mu so ma ye krado hwe ani mo se bibia bekoso ye di ama no ntu no wo che so no de wo gidie pa ewo mo afa yemra dom kwa benya abato mpeso no eswe dom kwa benya so wo no so na wa ye pin show pa NPP edge NDC enso edge na Electoral Commission sabra ye kase de wonum abo maame Faustina Krugu Elikplim din a wono ejine mu de ma NDC amanyoko ni se wono ena obekwa akogya ne manfo anemu ewo omaimra hyebedwe fienti parliamentary candidate elect eno no na sa declaration we eba ye no na chesansa ne babakra na basabaso esi ewo eye dom kwabenya ene ne mpate mu no enye basabasa ese bi etutu anase bibi na mom mentimi ho ase ekoso ewo NPP amanyoko ene NDC amanyoko no entem an emergency meeting interparty advisory committee IPAC ekoso enra ena presiding officer Dome Kwabenya Ura James Kofi ejina so no wo kire se ne aya na aye no wo makin kan aba no they say they was so mo ya no so mo declare na wo bia ehu ni smoothness level into omo declare dia Faustina Akrugu Elikplim ena wo se fata ana se mannequin kind koye no ekode man we san se wono enya 50,967 votes ena NPP Michael Kwe Junior so gine mu de man wo no enya 50,669 votes into hwa kakra bi pe ena etwentem ntine wo sempeni fogina so na Faustina Akrugu Elikplim wo mo bonus di se won konko gine mu ema de hye a ewo dom kwabenya baton person no so ewo omaimra hyebedwe fie na se de Ra James Kofi ejine mu a wo bo Elikplim Akrugu edino yenti
Zakaria Kofi, the return officer for the family constituency. Just like the chairperson has said, we have arrived at the final result of the parliamentary election. On the face of the page sheets, we have Michael Aaron Yao Okwejina polled 50,669 votes, 50669. Akrugu Faustina Elikplim polled 50,967 votes, 50967. Dora Nyako polled 220 votes, that is 220. And Remy Parko Edmondson polled 302, that is 302. The total valid votes 102,158, 102.
Kofi wono ena woye presiding officer abato no eto ye do me kwa abenya abato mpeso ano so no ti senya wogine mu a wo Faustina Krugu Eliklim D se wo konko gine mu e wo mrahye bedwefie no ena ye TBA na NDC amanyoko no a ensemu ena ye gina ye kodea na wo national chairman Ura Johnson Asiedu Inketia wono so akasemu a wo kire se eba no state award hu ni se enye vigilante boys and girls for dia state award there sebe wo hwe wo bia wo sefata obi a wabo adwuma pa a esefata se ye bona baso no saafo no ena esefata se ye de abaso bode ema wo mo edenti no waka se ye wo se Ghana Manpanis Excellency Nana Adodankwa Ekufuado na no ne National State Award bi omama ye no wo se nkrofo bi wo no mo a sebe wo mo fata sa abaso bode no kra